Start off from the common scenario here, okay? He has control of both of my legs. First thing I do, okay, is I maintain my balance here by staying bent over, okay? We don't want to be too straight up here. It's way easier for him to off balance me, okay? A lot of times too, anyways, a lot of the attacks he's going to go for, he's going to off balance you forwards anyways, so that's kind of where we want to start here, all right? Now, once we're here, my first order is to get my far leg free. So all I'm going to do is grab his wrist, break this wrist grip, and then trade it to the other hand, okay? I need to trade it to the other hand so this back hand is free to attack his legs, all right? So from here, very simple, we're always going to test the bottom hook first, okay? This should be much easier in X guard versus single leg X because this is so much space offered to me. So I'm going to put that cat paw grip, okay, all 5 fingers facing out on his shin. I'm going to put pressure in by locking out my elbow. If I feel this hook start to loosen, we're just going to take baby steps with our left foot here. Okay. As we do that, we don't want him scrambling to come on top, okay? If he starts coming up, go ahead. That means I'm not controlling his legs well enough, all right? So, just like single leg X, we need to make sure we get the scoop grip here, okay? So now if he tries to come up, much more difficult, okay? Guys, remember, if you ever can't get the scoop grip here, let's say he's faster than me there, go ahead, come up. We need to keep our head higher so he can potentially take his back, or if he's continuing to come up, we can at least get something like a front headlock, okay? We're gonna have. So our next guard, okay, our posture's here, okay? We don't want to be off balance, okay? I'm gonna break that wrist grip, trade it to my other hand. From here, hand on the shin. Don't go to the knee, guys. Make sure you're going to the shin. We want to make sure his heel's like going towards his butt. Lock your elbow out. Little shuffle steps. As soon as your foot starts getting past this knee, you guys can start thinking about settling and controlling the knee, okay? So, for example, if Ulysses tries to split his legs and come to the top here, okay, it's going to be really hard. I can keep my torso pretty well attached to this. Okay, some of you were making different grips. Again, this is why I don't grab the pants and the gi here, or overhook. Kick your leg straight. Okay, I can't hold on to that, all right? Again, if this is ever a case where you get here and he's really explosive and he starts getting up, okay, you're always keeping your head higher than his head, okay? Especially if this becomes like a scramble or a wrestling situation. We want to have our head higher so we have advantages for things like front headlock, underhook, overhook, stuff like that. So from here, this is the one change we're going to make from gi to no gi, guys. It is going to be stronger to have a sleeve grip here versus a wrist grip for sure. Okay. Now remember, make sure you're always changing this to the front hand so we have this hand ready to attack. At any point, if I don't control this arm and he extends me out, okay, you can start building up for the technical stand-up. Yeah, he's going to wrestle up on that leg. Okay. So essentially, if you guys get into the habit controlling this, try to get up now. That stretch me out. If you can't put this hand on the ground, you can't get up. Make sense? Okay. All right, so let's move on to the second pass here. So if I feel that Ulysses is really strong with this butterfly hook, it's very tight. I go to push this down, I'm stepping, but it's not working. I'm doing big back steps, not working. I gotta start thinking about switching to the top leg, okay? So I'm gonna take this off, and I'm actually gonna do a palm up grip on his Achilles here. I wanna feel his shin bone like digging into my tailbone here, okay? Now, everything's the opposite. I'm going for the other foot, okay? I am gonna stand straight up, and this time we're not gonna backstep, okay? Like keep that hook strong. If it's strong, you move it back, it's not gonna go anywhere. So instead, this time we're gonna do a high step, okay? Remember, when we high step, the foot's gonna go forwards, and it's gonna go through the gap. Okay. In order to do this, this leg needs to be really light. So the main thing you need to do here is put all of your weight into your trap leg. Okay. Then it should be really easy to kick this leg forward, bring that heel through, and then from here, you can start dropping into Toriando passes, or however you guys like to pass after that. Okay. So that's when we're gonna release the bottom shin, and we're gonna grab the top Achilles. Okay. Palm up, fingers facing in. We want the shin bone tight to like our hip bone here. The hip bone and the tailbone, okay? You guys will feel when you pull this grip in properly, it releases a lot of leverage of this top leg, all right? So now let's remember when we high step, okay, our leg is going forwards and it's going between the knees, okay? If Grant ever releases this leg, yes, I'll just back step, okay? But if he has that good hook we were talking about, and I go to back step here, look, it's not gonna go very far. So the high step is gonna be here. Go ahead, do that same thing. Forward, through, and then land, okay? And then from here, you can block the knee, block the hip, and start to pass, okay? These hooks are like death grips, right? If somebody wants to stay here and like play within this position, they're not gonna let these feet go super easy. So kind of what I'm seeing here is as Ulysses goes to high step, so you can start leaning, some of the bottom people are just giving this foot up and he's just back stepping. Again, that's the right thing to do. That's what you should do if that bottom foot becomes free. But guys, look at my feet. Again, butterfly hooks, I'm not just pointing my toes, I'm really flexing my feet here, okay? Back step now. Okay, push this leg down too. Now back step. You guys see what I mean? Like if you get into that habit and this foot's not coming off, like, yeah, it's gonna be a bit of, not only will he not pass, you saw how off balance he was. So, lean forward again, please. This way, I'm sorry. All your weight into this leg. Yeah, okay. So go to back step again. Okay, and this is the game you guys are gonna play here too if you get really good at this. So as Ulysses leans, and he makes a good effort to back step, that's when he's just gonna redirect his foot, exactly. You guys see why we're doing two different passes here? Yeah, it's really important. Things are gonna change a little bit whenever we find him carrying this leg to the other side of his body. Okay, so like, consider this like a front X guard, okay? Kind of the exchange of grips here. Ulysses is gonna follow this rule. Typically, he's always gonna have one hand on my leg, okay? So he's gonna go to the kneecap, he's gonna pummel under, okay? He's gonna get a double V grip on my calf and he's gonna push this over his head, okay? So, what is the purpose and the benefits of him doing this, okay? Some of his main attacks here, he can bring this leg behind and go to the crab ride position. Okay, start to look to take my back. If I run away, he can start to look to wrestle up to a body lock, okay? And not to mention, whenever we're in things like X guard and single leg X, leg locks aren't too far behind either. Some good leg lock setups here as well. All right, so let's talk about what we can look to do first as he's carrying the leg over, okay? Because we do have a decent amount of time here as he brings this leg across, okay? So as he brings this leg across, what I'm gonna look to do is I'm gonna look to keep my elbow really tight to my hip. I'm gonna be looking for an underhook here, okay? So as he brings this leg over, I'm gonna look to go with it and stretch my leg. As I stretch my leg, it's almost like a baseball slide. I'm trying to get past the line of his knees and drop my elbow really low, okay? From here, I can use my other hand as a loose cross face early on, and now I can just look to split my legs and come up into a low sprawl here, okay? Elbow tight as he's carrying the leg. As he carries the leg, I go with it, okay? My hips are following the stretch of that foot. That's why I make the analogy of like a baseball player like sliding in the base, right? Elbow low, thumb in the collar, okay? Switch the legs, and we can turn this grip as we turn into side control here. Make sense? All right, cool. So let's say I start to go here and he gets the underhook. Okay, guys, don't just keep doing this. He's gonna get behind you. Okay. You gotta look to like keep trailing him, just like kind of like we did with the swoop grip with the first pass. Look to continue to wrestle up yourself as well. So we're gonna do that again. Okay. I go to stretch, so Ulysses hits the underhook. He starts to come up. Guys, I'm always keeping my head higher than his. Okay. I'm always trying to face him. Okay. Again, especially against jiu-jitsu guys that don't like to practice takedowns and wrestle, like a lot of times they'll just end up here. But again, if he's tough and he starts building up, okay, maybe he starts hitting peek outs. Yeah. We can look to stay attached, and then a lot of times that's when we'll catch stuff on the fly too. Make sense? All right, cool. Try to pass with my leg coming in like this. Okay. I'm gonna have a tendency to stay behind his top knee. Okay, like how do we do a knee slice, right? When we knee slice, we want to get our whole torso in front of this knee. Okay, it's literally the same thing, but my leg's pointing the opposite direction. Okay, so just try to pay attention to what I do with this leg on this rep. Okay, so as he carries it, you guys see, I really stretch this leg out. This gives me good clearance on this knee. So if he tries to like bump me, come up, or do anything, like, I'm in a pretty good position here. Does that make sense? Alright, cool. If he's insistent on turning into you, a little tip here, guys, we can always lock our hands with an S grip. And this is like, you know, when I'm giving people the business, this is what I like to do. Okay? I'll just open his elbow, keep his spine out of alignment. If you keep his spine out of alignment, try to grapple now. Okay. Versus here. Yeah. Okay. So I'm always looking at putting a little bit of pressure on him here. And then as I split my legs, I can start to open up. Actually take the legs one way, just step over. And it's the same thing. A little bit harder to do for obvious reasons. Okay. We're gonna just do 2 more situations here, and they're gonna be very similar to the first 2 situations we worked on, okay? Right now, Ulysses has an underhook. He could also have an overhook. We're gonna look at that next, okay? All right. So typically when people do this, okay, he could lock his hands, he could have a kneecap grip, stuff like that. Either way, we're gonna look to just get inside of the palm here and start to peel this grip, okay? So from here, I'll go thumb inside, start to peel. Now what this tells me is that I have free range of movement from this leg now, okay? Go ahead and grab my kneecap again, or however you want, doesn't matter. Guys, I don't care if he grabs with this hand, but this hand is the problem. Watch when I try to step out. Okay, it's attached to it. Okay, grab with this hand only now. Okay, that one not so much, okay? So, I need to get rid of this grip, okay? So, peel. If you guys are worried about him grabbing again, just default to what we've been doing. We've been grabbing this wrist anyways, okay? He can try to hold on with this hand, but it should be a simple thing now to high step this leg versus this leg. Why do I not want to high step this leg? A, there's more stuff in the way here. And B, when he's behind me in X guard, if I go to high step with this leg, I am turning my back to him more. It could work, but I am giving him more back exposure. Okay, it's a risk. So that's why I want to high step this leg. And it should be easy. There's nothing in the way here. So I'm going to high step and I'm going to go back diagonally with my heel. Okay? As soon as I go there, he still has a remaining butterfly hook. So I'm going to use this hand to put pressure on this hook. And again, little mini back step. And then again, we can go back to passing. Okay? So he carries the leg over. That's it. We're going to push this grip down, lift it up. Now this is going to be a combination of a backwards high step, okay? And then a small back step with the front leg, okay? So back step first, or high step first. Good. If he's still holding on here, push this down, back step. And then we can look to pass again. Okay? Take this hand off. Okay, let's just contrast like what one hand versus the other has in terms of control and leverage, okay? This is the bad hand, okay? So watch when I move my leg. I'm gonna hold it there. See? That's good leverage, okay? That's why I need to strip that grip. Okay, if Ulysses controls with his other arm, okay, watch this. Hold on really tight. Hold on tighter. Okay, switch arms. Make sense? I don't answer that question for you. So what if he's overhooking me here? All right, so why we need a pass here is if I go to just do what I just did, okay? Now, like, yeah, I can't bring this foot out. There's no really good ways to clear a grip this deep, okay? So we're really gonna have to work around this way again. So the good news is that that back step we did at the beginning, it's gonna work pretty well here as well, okay? So also the good news too, guys, is the good thing about him going to a rear X guard is that his ability to stay as sticky with his hooks and off balance is slightly hindered here, okay? He has better access to my back, but at the cost of like having a good off balance. Why? You guys see this? I have a better ability to stagger my stance here when I'm in a rear X guard versus if I was here still. Okay, if I try to stagger here, look, I'm off balancing myself, okay? So there's pros and cons of both. So what you guys should feel here is that when you go to kill this hook again, okay, it should be significantly easier to backstep out of this, okay? So from here, if he lets go, he can be ready to grab this wrist, okay? Or just generally, you can play with your hand on the mat. Okay, now see, it's the same thing, okay? The better thing about this too is you guys see where I am now, I'm basically sitting on his chest, okay? This puts me in a way better spot. However, don't underestimate people here. Even though I am pretty much place with my weight on top of him. If he's really good at wrestling, really good at scrambling, he still has avenues to get out from underneath me. So I would recommend that as you're doing this, you still get that scoop grip as you settle into something like north-south. Make sense? One more time. Okay, so he carries the leg over. Okay, he gets an overhook this time. Okay, that's gonna tell me that I can't high step out of this, okay? So from here, I'm gonna go back to the back step. Circle, circle, circle. Again, just to have good habits and play safe, we're getting a scoop grip on this leg. We're gonna go elbow to hip, elbow to hip. If you guys wanna be an asshole and sit on your partner's face, God bless. Otherwise, you can just sprawl your legs. Make sense? Okay. Let's say you just wanna try to square up here. Again, you gotta be careful about keeping your arm in the middle here if you're already on top. Yeah. Push that head, yeah. Do stuff like that. So if you are gonna get to just a normal side control, take your arm out of here, okay? It doesn't really benefit you at that point anyway to keep your arm between your legs, because like he's going to be looking to re-guard, he's going to be looking to turn away. So we either typically want to be blocking here or here. Okay. If you do decide to